Hello scholars and welcome back for another day of Read Aloud. Today is Tuesday. What day of the week is it? Yes, it is Tuesday, April 14th, and today we're going to continue reading Annie and the Wild Animals. Let's get started. Don't forget, this week is a challenge where eventually you'll do the cheers and chants all on your own. So remember, we're trying to practice together until that day comes where it's all on you. And I know you're going to do an amazing job, but make sure that when I'm doing the cheers and chants, you're following along with me. We're gaining that confidence with these cheers and chants, even if they're ones that we're still struggling a little bit with. We're still showing self-determination to try to get them all down in our brains so we can remember them and be ready for the next video. Setting is get ready, go. Setting is where and when the story takes place. Characters are get ready, go. Characters are the people, animals, or things acting in a story. Problem is get ready, go. Problem is something that the character wants or needs but they cannot have. An attempt, get ready, go. An attempt is when you try something but it doesn't work. Solution is get ready, go. Solution is how the problem is solved. Good job. S-N-T, we're going kind of fast today. S-N-T, get ready, go. S-N-T, take place in the beginning. O-N-R, take place in the middle. Ooh, that's where we are today, sound excitement. Y takes place at the end. Let's do one more time. S-N-T, take place in the beginning. O-N-R, take place in the middle. Y takes place at the end. So we already read the beginning of our book yesterday. We talked about how the setting was at, the where was Annie's house, and the when was in the winter. So we had a question to answer about character mental state. Character mental state is get ready, go. Character mental state is what the character's thinking and feeling. I challenged you yesterday to try to come up with a feeling that Annie was feeling in the beginning of the story, because we read the beginning, that wasn't just lonely. Did you do that? Were you able to come up with a different feeling, but also find evidence from the text to support your answer? Well, I'm sure all of you tried your best, and I'm excited because I got to reach out to a Stanford scholar, and I was able to ask them what feeling they came up with. But when they gave me their answer, I told them, where is your text evidence? We always make sure we give text evidence. And this scholar said, I like to, ooh, Stanford, I could even hear you. I like to prove it. We always prove it with our text evidence. Evidence is clues from the pictures and the text. And we know since we're almost first graders, when we give our text evidence, it's okay if we use the pictures sometimes, but if we're working on step levels 4 and 5 and 6 and even 7 in kindergarten, we want to make sure that we're using the text, we're using the words to support our answer. So I want to tell you and help you find the evidence to the answer that this scholar gave me. Are you ready? See if we could do that. All right, let's get started. So scholars, the feeling that this character gave me to describe Annie at the beginning of the story was worried. This scholar told me Annie is feeling worried at the beginning of the story. Or, in the beginning of the story, Annie is feeling worried. They restated the question and they gave me their answer, something that first graders do. Say, whoa, I know, so cool. So now we need to go back in the text and find evidence that supports this. Say, let's go. So we're looking back in the text and we're finding evidence that supports that Annie is feeling worried. I wonder what she's worried about. Let's look back in the story. I know that good readers always go back and reread, so I'm going to reread and I would love for you to follow along. It had been snowing for days. Winter was lasting too long. Something was wrong with Annie's cat. Taffy had stopped playing. She ate more than usual. She slept all day long. Annie found her curled up in strange places. One morning, Annie could not find Taffy anywhere. She looked and looked, but Taffy was gone. Annie was very lonely. So scholars, what did we read that could support our answer that Annie is feeling worried? What did the text tell us that shows us that she is worried? I know when you're feeling worried, you're like, you have a face kind of like something's different, something's changed, and you're feeling unsure about it. How do I know that she's worried, and maybe who is she worried about? Let's look back in the text on page 2. Did you think about page 2 as well? Good work. Let's look back in the text on page 2. What did the text say on page 2 that helps us figure out that she is feeling worried? And also, what else could I use? I know evidences, get ready, go. Evidences, clues from the pictures and the text. Yeah, and we always want to try to use the text to help us. So let's think about the text too. Yeah, something strange is happening that Annie feels worried about. Her cat, Taffy, it says something was wrong with Annie's cat. Something's wrong. The word wrong really sticks out to me. And it says Taffy had stopped playing. I know it's not usual for that to happen. When her cat used to love to play, if she just stops playing, then there must be something wrong, like the text said. So that supports my answer. What in the picture helps you figure out that she feels worried? Yeah, scholars, look at her face. She has a very worried look on her face. That also supports our answer that Annie is feeling worried at the beginning of the story. Now I want us to look back at the page we left off on page 4. Let's reread page 4 together and find some more evidence to support our answer. One morning, Annie could not find Taffy anywhere. She looked and looked, but Taffy was gone. Annie was very lonely. I know that she's feeling worried. We already found some evidence to support that. What else supports that she's feeling worried? Yeah, she looked and looked. I know if someone goes missing and you're looking all over for them, you're probably feeling worried and you really want to find them. Nice job. So scholars, awesome job finding your evidence for our character's mental state. We know in the beginning of the story, Annie is feeling worried and lonely. We know that she's lonely because her cat Taffy is gone and she's looking all over and can't find Taffy anywhere. Today we are going to finish reading and read the middle of our story. O and R take place in the middle. We're going to find the problem and we're going to find if there's any attempts to resolve. I know an attempt is when you try something but it doesn't work. Let's get into our story. Remember that I'm always going to ask you some questions while we're reading. So good readers are really paying attention, and when they don't understand something, they can go back and reread. So let's start reading on page 4. One more time we'll read page 4 so we can really understand the problem today. One morning, Annie could not find Taffy anywhere. She looked and looked, but Taffy was gone. Annie was very lonely. I need a new friend, thought Annie. Scholars, why did Annie need a new friend? Says she's thinking inside her head, I need a new friend, thought Annie. Why does Annie need a new friend? Let's look back in the text on page 4. Do you find your evidence? Do you see it? Yeah, she can't find Taffy anywhere. Taffy's gone. If Taffy's gone and Taffy is Annie's only friend, now she doesn't have a friend to hang around with and play with. So she must be still feeling really lonely. She wants a new friend. That's our problem. She's lonely and she wants a new friend. I'm going to go ahead and add that up to our chart. Are you ready? I'm going to throw it. Ready? Stars. I went ahead and tossed our problem right onto the chart. We know that Annie is feeling lonely. I know that feeling lonely is not a good feeling. We also said she's worried. Taffy is gone. She's feeling lonely. She wants a friend. And I know problem is something that the character wants or needs, but they cannot have. Why can't she have Taffy right now? Why can't she have Taffy right now? Yeah, Taffy left. Taffy is gone. Taffy left the house. So she can't have Taffy. As we keep reading, we're focusing on an attempt to resolve how Annie might have tried to solve her problem. She placed a corn cake at the edge of the wood. She imagined that a small, furry animal would come and she would tame him for a pet. Scars, why does Annie leave corn cake outside? Why is she leaving corn cake outside? Why would she do that? She's taking corn cake and leaving it right at the edge of the woods. I want you to look back in the text. Why would she do that? What is her motivation for doing that? We already said she wants a new pet, right? She's feeling lonely and Taffy left already. So she can't have Taffy. So she's trying to get a new pet. What made you think that in the text? Yeah, on page 6, it says she imagined that a small furry animal would come and she would tame him for a pet. She's hoping that by putting some corn cake out by the woods, animals will come and she can tame it to be her little pet at home and she won't feel lonely anymore. Let's see if that works. The next morning, the corn cake was gone. Say dun dun dun. In its place stood a giant moose. He's too big to tame, thought Annie. I'll have to try again. That night, Annie left another corn cake at the edge of the woods. Stars, who ate the corn cake? Who ate the corn cake that she left on page 8? Who ate that corn cake? Yeah, the moose ate the corn cake. Oh my goodness. Why can't she have the moose as a pet? Why not? That'd be cool, have a pet moose. No way. So crazy. It says he's too big to tame. She can't tame a moose. A moose is a wild animal. We know you don't have wild animals as pets. Let's keep reading and see if something else works. Next morning, the moose was back and a snarling wildcat was there too. He's too mean to tame, thought Annie. Scars, well, if the moose is too big, what's wrong with the wildcat? Why can't she have the wildcat as a pet? Yeah, we know that the wildcat is too mean. How did you know that? What was your text evidence? Let's look back on page 10. What did you read that told you that the wildcat was too mean? On page 10, it says, he's too mean to tame, thought Annie. And when she says he's, we know that she's talking about the wildcat. We already knew that the moose was too big. It says a snarling wildcat was there too. He's too mean to tame, thought Annie. Nice work. Annie placed more corn cakes at the edge of the wood. Wow, I'm going to describe Annie as really determined. She is not giving up, even after all the other wild animals have already come, like the moose and the wildcat. She's still trying to solve her problem, even though it's not working yet. So Scars, we know that she keeps putting the corn cake right by the edge of the wood. And I know that the animals that are coming out to eat that corn cake are wild animals. I want you to make a prediction. A prediction is get ready, go. A prediction is a good guess what will happen in the story. Who do you think is going to come eat the corn cake next? We already said moose, good job. And we already said that wildcat, good job. Who do you think is going to come eat the corn cake next? The next morning, a big growling bear was there with the moose and the wildcat. Scars, do you think the bear will be a good friend for Annie? Why not? Yeah, bears are so dangerous. She can't have a pet bear. Let's keep reading. He's too grumpy for a pet, thought Annie. Annie made as many corn cakes as she could and left them at the edge of the wood. At dawn, Annie heard the snarls and growls of the wild animals. There was the moose and the wildcat and the bear. They had been joined by a stag, his family, and a large gray wolf. Not one of them is soft and friendly like Taffy, thought Annie. All the next day, Annie made corn cakes and left them at the edge of the wood. All night long, she heard the sounds of the wild animals eating the corn cakes. Annie awoke to find a great nose stuck through her window. It belonged to the moose, who was still hungry. There were wild animals everywhere. They roared for their next meal. The little house shook. The animals wanted more corn cakes, but when Annie looked into the barrel of cornmeal, it was empty. She couldn't make any more corn cakes. Annie was very sad. She would never find a pet now, and she missed Taffy very much. So scholars, today we're working on the problem and our attempts to resolve. I know an attempt, get ready, go. An attempt is when you try something, but it doesn't work. We know that Annie wanted a new friend, but Taffy left. She can't have Taffy as a pet friend anymore. So she's trying and trying and trying to get another friend. What does she keep doing to try to solve her problem? You try something, but it doesn't work. What did she do to try to get a new friend? What did she do? Character actions are what the character does. What did she do to try to find a new friend? Oh, she went to the pet store, right? She went to the pet store and she got a new friend? No? No way. What did she do? What did she do to try to solve her problem? Yes. Annie makes corn cakes and keeps putting them by the edge of the woods, and again puts them at the end of the woods, and again puts them at the edge of the woods. How come that doesn't work? How come that doesn't work? You look back in the text on pages 16 and 17. I want you to look for some evidence of why putting the corn cake at the edge of the wood doesn't work. Why does that not work? I'm going to give you some time to reread. You can either reread on your own or you can follow along with me. At dawn, Annie heard the snarls and growls of the wild animals. There was the moose and the wildcat and the bear. They had been joined by a stag, his family, and a large gray wolf. Not one of them is soft and friendly like Taffy, thought Annie. Why did it not work? Yeah, did you find the character thoughts that help us figure out why it's not working? It says not one of them is soft and friendly like Taffy, thought Annie. What do we know about those animals? Yeah, they're wild animals. We said that the moose is too big, you got it. And the wildcat is too mean. And the bear is too grumpy. None of these animals are soft and friendly like Taffy the cat. It's not working. They're all wild animals that she can't tame. Okay, so let's read our attempt to resolve together. Annie keeps putting corn cake out for the animals so that a friend can come and be her friend and her pet so she's not lonely anymore, but it doesn't work. The only animals that are coming are wild animals. So remember, I have some question challenges at the end of our read alouds when we are working together. So the first question I have for you is, who are three, how many? Yes. Who are three animals who eat Annie's corn cakes? You can start by saying three animals that eat Annie's corn cakes are, and make sure you give me three. We know good readers always give evidence from that. Yes, evidence from the text, evidence from that. You can pick any three. My last question for you today is, let's look back at where we left off on pages 22 and 23. While reading this book, we focused a lot already on character feelings. We know that a character's mental state, what they're thinking and how they're feeling, is really important in our story. And I noticed a change in Annie's feelings on pages 22 and 23. I want to know, how is Annie feeling in the middle of the story? And I want you to support your evidence, or support your answer, silly Miss Coil, support your answer with evidence from the text. Remember, I'm already giving you the page number, so you know to look back on page 22 and 23. I want to know how she feels now. We said that she was feeling worried and lonely in the beginning of the story. How is she feeling now that we're in the middle of the story? And how do you know? We know that evidences, get ready, go. Evidences, clues from the pictures and the text. So make sure you give me that page number, page 22 or page 23, and exactly what in the text made you think how she was feeling. Wonderful job today. Tomorrow we are going to finish this book, and on Thursday and Friday we actually have a new book for Thursday and a new book for Friday. So many fun books coming up, and I'm excited to dive into them more with you. Let's go ahead and finish by reviewing some words. Since we worked on O and R today, those are the words we're going to focus on. I know O and R, get ready, go. O and R take place in the middle. Problem is get ready, go. Problem is something that the character wants or needs, but they cannot have. An attempt, get ready, go. An attempt is when you try something, but it doesn't work. Awesome job. By the time we end tomorrow, we will get to retell the whole story, so I can't wait to see you then. Bye, guys.